A 1-year update on 110 rescue orchids. Hi everyone, welcome back. For today's topic, I have a 1-year update on Williams orchids, the rescue orchids that I brought back. It was a year ago that I made my way trekking to Beaumont to visit William Youngblood's greenhouse. And he had recently passed away before I was able to meet him. And he was a longtime orchid hobbyist and the heart and soul of the Beaumont Conservatory. He had a collection close to about 1,000 orchids. Many were donated to the Beaumont Conservatory. I also took a tour of the conservatory, and the video is in the link below if you want to take a look after this video. In April and May of last year, I made 2 trips to his greenhouse. The first one, I brought back about 38 orchids in clay pots. And then in the second trip, I got smarter and I pulled all the orchids out of the clay pots and loaded them up in plastic tubs. I gathered about 110 orchids between 2 trips and more than 50 orchid cages and wire containers. For my cleaning process, I treated the orchids with Consen 20 for fusarium, and then I used soap and alcohol for the scales and mealybugs. A few months later, towards the winter, I discovered more scales, and I was continuing to treat the orchids for scale. And then after spraying with alcohol and or hydrogen peroxide, I also repotted the orchids and then follow up with a diatomaceous earth underneath the leaves. And most of the orchids that were potted in single pots or on their own, they didn't have many issues. It was the ones that I grouped together in a large pot to safe pots that had issues. And almost all of the large pots, the orchids that are in large pot, and a handful of the small pots had scales. And I would say about 10% of the rescue collection had repeated scales. And of course, it isn't being in a large pot that made it the reason to be that it had scales. It was because I think these orchids were the last ones that I cleaned and probably just got really tired of scrubbing and didn't do a good job. Here is a clip of the orchids after 1 month of cleaning and potting them. I'm learning that repeated cleaning and repeated treatment with not too much of a time gap is the key. Now that might mean a day or a week and then go back to spraying and soaking and scrubbing and all that and repotting. And I am a firm believer that physical intervention is the first defense. I feel that it's like 90% of the treatment. I think that I can get about 90% of the scales out just from scrubbing with soap and using tools that to get to hard to reach areas. Then I could also follow up in another week or a month depending on the life cycle of the scale. I'm noticing that the scale can stay dormant for a while and then they show up again like it did this past winter. I will have to do some more research and figure out what is the best strategic time to treat all the rescue orchid again before the larvae emerges. As for the fusarium, I think I will be very conservative and cautious with gloves and mask when I'm using it, and I will use it the Consen 20 conservatively to treat the rescues again this spring. I have seen a couple of the rescues where the pseudobulbs have turned black from the fusarium. I have been keeping in contact with my friend Michelle, who inherited all of William's orchid and who is the one who gave me the tour and gave me some of William's orchids. Okay, so now here's what the rescue orchids look like a year later. Let's take a look at them one at a time. I have been keeping the rescues underneath the Shumor oak tree with a temporary arch because I need to keep these isolated until I completely have treated it for scale and fusarium. This is tampensis, Encyclia tampensis, and it was the first one that bloomed for me. It bloomed immediately, I think a month later after I cleaned it up and potted it. And I think this one is called tampensis, as in Tampa, Florida, also known as the Tampa butterfly orchid. And then to our left, also, it bloomed here for me. And I remember it bloomed on Valentine's Day. Really nice deep red color. It's a SLC, Hsin Buu Lady. And I think I actually had two bloom spikes on this one. The other one was right up here. And then to the bottom of us here, the next one that also bloomed for me, it's LC, Big Time, number 2. And I remember the bloom was really nice. It was this waxy feeling, really thick petals, texture, and just really pretty pastel color. And this one I actually broke into 2 pieces. One piece I gave to a friend of mine, so I just have this one left. This next one is a dendrobium. And badly eaten by a snail right here, a hole right in the center of the leaves. I don't think I have a tag for this one. And this one's LC, Purple Cascades, and Sweet Beauty is the variety. Has not bloomed for me yet. And it's coming along. You can see some scars on the old leaves. And this next one is has bloomed once for me, and the snail ate one of the new growths on not new growth, one of the bloom spike recently, last month actually. So it would have bloomed twice. And I remember that it was, I think, a light green text flower to it. And I couldn't find the picture of the bloom. I lost a lot of pictures. Spray some diatomaceous earth underneath the leaves to keep the spider mites away. I hope it's working. Okay, now we go to the other side of that same archway. Now, this next one has not bloomed for me, and it seems like it's quite a bit of a scraggler grower, just is leaning everywhere, but it's got a nice new growth up here. Let me see, get your name of it. It's BC Marcella Koss Pink Marvel. And this one's got a really unruly shape and unruly growth habit. Probably should put this one on an orchid cage to keep all the leaves together and upright. And here's an old scarred leaf from when mice got into the greenhouse. This next one is a cute little dendrobium, Dendrobium New Hope. And this one I actually have seen on Carmela's website, and I thought about getting it, so I'm really glad I have a piece of it actually for free from William here. Okay, let me see if I can move this one down so we can get to the one behind it in the basket. Let's see, this one is BLC Majestic Light and Variety Glory. And I think this one did bloom. I'm not absolutely sure, but I don't have a picture. And this next one also I have seen on Carmela's website. Let me see if I can reach and get it for you and get the tag. And this one has not bloomed for me yet. It's a Dendrobium Violet, Yamaji, and Nalo is the variety. I'm hoping that this one will bloom because I actually really like the color of this one. And I got a new growth right here, right in front of us. And by the way, these shelves are wired shelves that I have turned them sideways to make them into a hanging area. And this next one, I originally had two pieces of it, and the one on the right of that picture is actually really badly infected with Fusarium, and it had turned black, so I threw it away. And it is Cattleya maxima cerealia times Cattleya walkeriana cerealia. So it'll be a nice blue. Can't wait to see it. And this next one has no name. I have no idea what it is, and not doing too well. Not giving me any new growth. Okay, let's see, reach inside this basket. And this next one is LC George Baldwin, and Prolific is the variety. And also giving me plenty of nice new growth, just no blooms yet. It's a BLC Toshie's Magic, and Doris is the variety. And I don't know much of most of these orchids because I haven't had time to really research them. So I'm sorry I'm not giving you much information on them. But this one is doing pretty good. And I've had, I think, two new pseudobulbs, and one is starting out right here. And I've never had this one bloom yet. Okay, and on the other side, a couple of these are not part of the rescues, right? This one is, and this one's not. I'm just hanging it here for space. Now this one is. This next one is a rescue, and it is Patinera Love Avenue Serenade is the variety. And this one, I just realized we actually saw this one at Lowe's as a bag baby. So I bet William got this at Lowe's years ago. So it's been in circulation for a while. Um, It's had a rough time with, I guess the rats chewed up a lot of the leaves. And yes, it did bloom for me on that one. This next one is BLC Fatari, and Carmela is the variety. And then this one is Dendrobium Second Love. And no ID on this one. And unfortunately, I rotted that little new young growth. This next one is got a really long name, so I'll let you read the title. on the screen, and it's got lots of nice new growth, new roots everywhere, really nice. I think that I did look up the bloom on this one. It looks a lot like the BLC Dora Louise Capen Leah, and so it's going to be a little confusing once it's blooming, but I can't wait. It looks like this year I might get a bloom from this one. This is a nice new growth on this one too. Is also a dendrobium, and let me get the name for you. Dendrobium baby blue, Carmela is the variety. So I'm keeping most of the dendrobiums in this section, and for the most part, these dendrobiums have not many issues. They don't really have that many issues, not even spider mites, but they do. Some of the leaves have some scars on them. Dendrobium Regina Busey or Busey. And this one is Dendrobium Burana Princess, and Pearl is the variety. And this one has bloomed for me. I remember. Dendrobium Canapa times Jacqueline Concert. And this one is Enobi Splash. And this next one is probably my favorite miniature dendrobium. It's Dendrobium Enobi Splash. And this next one is a very popular orchid. I think I had one of this a long, long time ago. I got it from Lowe's as a bag baby, and I killed it. And we're talking about maybe 7 or 8 years ago. This is Golf Green and Pig is variety. This one is growing nicely, and I remember having to clean off the scales on this one. It's got a new pseudobulb with a sheath on it right here. So, and some more chewed up leaf by a mouse here. And let me see if I can find the tag for you. Sunbeam, BLC, Shin Ying, and Sunbeam number 15. Next one is also really nice looking. Lots of good new growth on it. The name is BLC, Hawaiian Ruby Paradise is the variety. And I've been getting a lot of sunburns on several of the Cattleya hybrids here because I've got early morning sun here and it's starting to get hot, so I probably need to find some more shaded area. And this one, I'm not going to try to pull the tag out on this basket. Too many tags, and it's attached to a specific orchid. And there's so many in this basket. I remember like 6 of them in here. Same for this basket. Lots of just really small pieces that I stuck together. And I remember these 2 baskets. I had to clean out some scales as well. And now, so that we have done that area, let's go to the bigger pots on the benches. And this one, also a bunch of different orchids in here. I can't go through the tag on this one, I'm sorry. But I've got some issues on this one. I think it's just getting too much water and too much sun on some of the burn spots too. This one, there's a few new nice growth here. I just didn't cut off some of the leaves that have been chewed up by the mouse. I'm just going to keep it. I may try to separate some of these out of this big pot because I remember seeing scale on this one. There's about 5 to 8 orchids on here. And then this one, this dendrobium, has some chlorosis on here, probably due to a virus. I've been seeing these tiny little red spider, false spider mites running around. And that might be the cause of this virus here. And I think it's just on that one dendrobium. Hopefully it's not on all of the dendrobiums in this basket. There's quite a bit of dendrobiums in this basket, probably 4 or 5 different ones. I just realized I just saw one of the dendrobiums that has a single pod. It's one, so I may separate one of this piece here that goes with the other one. It's the Regina. And this next one is the largest Cattleya hybrid that I have from Williams' collection. It's, I think this entire basket is just one, well, not one plant, several plants, several pieces, but it's one type, one particular orchid. I don't have an ID. I remember no tags on this one. And I can't remember. Did it? Yeah, it bloomed, and I think it was white. It might be white reception. I can't remember. I'm not sure now. I have to go back to some old videos and see if I can find them. And this next one too, I believe there was a bloom on this one at one point. Few new growth in this area, and there's several different Cattleya hybrids in here actually. And this is my biggest new growth right here. And this next one in this cute little green pot here has bloomed recently, and it had no ID, but I think is white reception. It had a label on here that was called Pastoral Innocence, but this is not Pastoral Innocence. And this next one, I don't believe it has bloomed yet. And again, just several different Cattleya hybrids. I'm not going to pull the tag off for you. And it looks like there's some scales, remnants of scale, the shells of it. Have some diatomaceous earth left on this leaf. Sometimes the rain washes a lot of it away, and I need to respray. You know, some of these severely damaged leaves are still making lots of good food for the plant. And on a plant that doesn't have many leaves, I think I'd rather keep it even if it's unsightly. Okay, so that concludes the big basket areas. And I think we still have some more in the pergola area that I need to take you to, that I decided to keep with my collection because I feel like it's safe. And hold on, actually, I have one more dendrobium by this area that I didn't show you, and it did bloom before, and in fact, it bloomed really early on, first or second month, and it was a very long time bloomer too. Okay, I'm gonna bring you to the pergola, and the first one I have in mind is Dendrobium Sherry Ape. This one keeps blooming and blooming. It's more in bloom than it is not in bloom, honestly. And it's got 2 new spike on here. And this is the old spike, or the old bloom bud. It's few of the, most of the buds have fallen off already, or the blooms have fallen off already. And right in front of me, you see 1 and 2 bloom spike right there. And let me see if I can show you the new growth. Unfortunately, that was eaten by a snail. Yeah, I remember it was right down at the base, right in this area. It was there one day and gone the next, just that quickly. However, it does have a fully developed new king right along here. And I remember I grew this new king last fall. Yeah, last fall. So it should be blooming soon. Now, this dendrobium to the right is a no ID denfowl that I potted together with Sherry Abe. And this is going to be really nice when all four kings bloom. And I just realized I have a few more orchids right by the archway that were rescue orchids I skipped. Let me go back. This one name is RLC Blanche Isaka. And I have not had this one bloom yet. And it does have a nice new growth here. This one has a burn on the leaf, unfortunately, from direct morning sun. It's Patinera Burana Beauty. Burana is the variety. And I have to watch out for this burnt leaf area. A lot of times it's an open wound, and if it's getting too much water, and I've been getting a lot of rain lately, it may rot the leaf that has that burnt spot. Okay, let's go back to the pergola where we were doing some of those incorporated into my collection. In this basket of the yellow maxillary tenuifolia, I have one of William's pieces in here along with mine. Okay, now we're going to go to the shower. I have a few of his orchids in here as well that I think it's okay. This one is BLC Hawaii Island. And nope, has not bloomed yet. And then this one underneath it, well, actually, let's go to the Brassavola Little Star right up here. And it did bloom. This one actually gave me like one or two blooms last winter. And then this one here has a new growth. And the leaf looks pretty good. I think, yeah, no ID on this one. This next one is Shirley Brines and has never bloomed also. And I don't know if this one has to get pretty big to bloom, honestly. It's going to be a long time if it's a baby size Cattleya hybrid. Okay, this one I'm really excited about. It's a species. It used to be really shriveled up. I'm going to show you a picture of a year ago. I grew two new pseudobulbs, and the blooms are not very significant really on this one. But it's just a cute little orchid, the way it looks. And it's known as the pencil orchid. And it's native to Queensland, Australia. Thanks for joining me on this one, and I hope to bring you some more blooms from the rescues and some more learnings from them. And I'll see you next time. Okay, thanks. Bye-bye.